Hey guys, it's almost been a week on the Jumpstart server, so hopefully you guys have started your character and you've gotten a certain kind of way into the game. I wanted to make this video to talk about horizontal content, and I wanted to talk about why you want to do horizontal content and what you're really looking for when you do horizontal content. So if you press Alt L, it should open up this window that says Collectibles. And there's a few of these that are relevant to what you want to do. Depending on your level of how much horizontal content you actually want to do, you can engage with some of these. You can, of course, engage with all of them. But I wanted to go over the ones that are more focused on actual, like, practical, I guess almost vertical, which is funny to say in horizontal content, but gives you actual character power. So generally, the bonuses that you'll get from completing horizontal content and collecting these different things, you'll get either skill points or you'll get runes. Depending on your class or your build, these could be critical, these could be really, really important, or they could be minor and they could be just pluses, right? Add-ons. Regardless, I recommend that depending on the build that you're going for, if you use the community guide and you see that there are things that seem to be critical about the build that you're missing or skill points that you're missing, then you would want to be focusing on certain pieces of horizontal content. So let's get a quick overview. Let's take a look at Island Souls. Now I can click on Island Souls and it'll tell me where all these Island Souls are. If you look at collection status, it'll give you a list and it'll show you which ones you've collected and which ones you haven't. And then if you click on view reward info, you can see what you get from doing this horizontal content. Now, the things of interest for Island Souls, usually the biggest one that people go for is this greater skill point potion at 20 Island Souls here. And that's usually a good one. Depending on the class that you play, if you use Barricade, maybe you would want this depending on how many protection runes you would want. Barricade is an engraving that makes you do more damage as long as you have a shield on your character, and so some classes that would run that barricade engraving use a protection rune to make sure that they always have a shield when they're using the skill that does damage. But for most people, it's just going to be these 20 Island Souls, okay? If you're looking for Giant's Hearts, if we look at the rewards for Giant's Hearts, now you can see that I've already got the 5 Giant Heart reward, and that's because my class really wants Wealth Runes. If you play a Spec class, then these Wealth Runes will be really critical. Of course, you'll also notice that there's a lot of skill point potions to collect here. There's one at 4, there's one at 6, there's one at 10, there's one at 12. And then if your class is mana hungry, there's also this Focus Rune. If we look at Omnium stars, this is one that I really need to work on as well. I want to get this Wealth Rune here at 5 Omnium stars, and there's also skill point potions. There's another Overwhelm Rune and a Protection Rune, of course. So you can notice that a lot of these rewards are kind of very similar in nature, right? They're either skill points or they're runes. For masterpieces, this is very specific. The thing about masterpieces is that you can get the legendary judgment here. To be honest, I feel like in the short term, this is like, you're probably, if you do want to work on this, it'll be over a long period of time. Eventually, there will be ways that you can unlock vendors in your stronghold, visiting merchants, and then you can buy conviction and judgment from the visiting merchants. Also, I'm not sure if you guys know, but the strongholds can be visited from the entirety of the Western server. So even though I'm on L'Oreal right now, which is the Jumpstart server in the West, if I go to Stronghold members, and I think the hotkey is Alt-G, I can browse strongholds, and you'll notice that all these people have like level 70 strongholds. These are actually strongholds that are like in the main server of the game. So if you were patient enough, honestly, it'll be quicker than actually gathering the masterpieces and stuff like that. You can visit strongholds and find merchants that will sell the runes Conviction and Judgment, and you can get your legendary Conviction Judgment that way. The only problem with that is you'll need to collect these seals here. Adventure seals are the ones that you want to focus on because it costs a lot of adventure seals to buy the legendary Conviction and Judgment runes. For Ignia tokens, there are some good rewards here. Purify is going to be the one that is, I mean, it used to be much more important, but now that you have the green Purify, it's kind of okay, but it's nice to have the 70% chance to remove debuffs as opposed to the 50% that you get on the green Purify. But then you also have the greater skill point potion, and then you have a Bifrost key, so this can be really good. Incidentally, on my main account, I actually don't have this skill point potion. Actually, I don't even have the purify on my main account, so that kind of can frame, how necessary some of these things are. But it is a very nice benefit. I don't recommend you do what I do and be lazy and not do it. I do think that it will be nice to get these things. Not necessary, but it's definitely nice. Finally, if we look at sea bounties is another one that gives you some character power. If you get to 34, you get the wealth rune here. And I think that's about it for sea bounties. Oh, there's a focus rune at 42. But usually for spec classes, they want to go for 34 to get this purple wealth rune. To be honest, I don't know if I'm going to do this in the immediate on the Jumpstart server because this can take a long time. So that was an overview for what the pieces of horizontal content are and what you might be interested in. I'm just going to focus in on what I am deciding to do right now in the short term for my character. Now, some of this is also informed by me playing, basically this is my second account, right? And so I'm a little bit more lazy to do the horizontal content, so I'm just kind of doing the bare minimum. Now, for skill points, I have a pretty good spread of skill points. Ideally, I can level up these two skills to level 10, and then when I get to level 60, I can also have enough skill points to put Ancient Spirit, Earth Collapse, and Electric Storm up to level 12, but because I'm lazy and I don't really need to get it immediately, I'm probably just gonna get as many skill points naturally as I can. I'm pretty happy with where my skills are at right now, and then I'll just naturally gain skill points. So actually for me doing horizontal content, I'm not really going to be focusing on the skill point potions as much. What I do really want as a Master Summoner player is I want to find more wealth runes, and especially I want legendary wealth rune. Incidentally, one other thing you can do, if you click the codex here, you can open this codex, and for example, if I want to know where all the wealth runes in the game are, I can search wealth, and you'll see that it brings up this window here, which is really useful, because I can click on one of these wealth runes, and I can know, okay, I can get one more blue wealth rune from Talo, who is a visiting trade merchant, so potentially I could comb through the strongholds by pressing Alt-G and just trying to find a stronghold that has Talo in there, and then maybe try to buy that. And then, as I mentioned before, the sea bounties, right, give the purple wealth rune. But I'm not really going to go for this because this takes a really long time. The one that I'm really going to go for is a legendary wealth rune that is collectible by Omnium stars. So that's really my goal right now with horizontal content. Now, how are we going to actually find these pieces of horizontal content? And how do we figure out where they are, how to get them, all that kind of stuff? My favorite thing to do is just to use an outside resource. So I like to use Maxroll, and let's just walk through what that looks like. Okay, so here is a Maxroll website, maxroll.gg. When I go to Lost Ark, if there's a better way to do it, there could be a better way, but I think this way is fine. You go to resources, the resources tab here, and then you just look under collectibles. So for example, let's say I wanted to figure out where all the Omnium stars I want are, right? So if I left click Omnium stars, it's going to give me information about what the Omnium stars will get me, and we kind of saw this window in game, right? And the one that I'm looking for is the wealth rune. So now they will tell you where all the Omnium stars are from and what you have to do. So let's take a look at the things that I can do in the immediate and what is time gated, okay? So this first one is simply just doing a quest, which I am actually getting started on now. So the quest, if I tab over to my Lost Ark game, is actually this quest here, A Trace of Light. If you're wondering, and you see the final reward is the Omnium star here, if you're wondering where to start this quest, if you're in Nia Village, this is the entry-level tier 3 island, in Putica, if you're in Nia Village, it's going to be in the Matriarch's office here in the top left of the map. In this room, you go into this room, you'll see a purple quest here, and you can pick it up, and the quest is A Trace of Light. So I'm just going to do this quest down to the last portion of it, and then that's where I get my first Omnium star. So that's really nice because there's no RNG. It's not really a time gate because I can just do it in basically an hour. I don't remember how long it is, but it's not that long, right? I can finish the quest in X amount of time. It's not gated by a daily lockout or anything like that. So it's very nice. So I can count on myself getting one Omnium star. I consider that one Omnium star I can get. So this other one, this next Omnium star number 2, you see it says Una's task, Pond of Purification 21. So an Una's task is basically a daily quest. So basically what this is saying is in 21 days, I will get the second Omnium star. Now, I recommend that you do this Una's task because it's fine in terms of rewards. It gives you some shards, and I think later on it'll give you something else. But it's fine to do, especially as you'll see later on, there's some RNG methods of getting Omnium stars. And so doing the Una's task can just reduce the amount of RNG you have to go through by 1 Omnium star. So you may as well get started on it now and then also do the RNG versions, and whichever comes first, that's great, right? Since I'm trying to get to 5 Omnium stars, I'm going to do this for as many days as it takes. And if on the 21st day, I still need 1 more Omnium star, then I finish the Una's task and I get it and I'm done. Now, Omnium star number 3 is a Rapport Omnium star. There's a technique that we will use to Rapport bomb Nia. The problem is that there are some requirements for you to do Nia to the trusted stage, which is basically maxing out Nia's like affection, the rapport. There are guides out there that you can search for rapport bombing, and that can get kind of complicated. So here is a guide that somebody wrote up that I referred to a really, really long time ago. I'll leave the link in the description, but if you just want to eyeball the URL, there it is at the top. And if you search Nia, if you come down a ways in the document, there's going to be a section here that is titled NPC Nia right there. And you're going to see that there's like these lists of things that you have to do. The most important thing about rapport to remember is that when you're doing rapport, there will come a time where there is a gate. It will stop you from continuing doing rapport. And if we go back to the Lost Ark client here, the game will require you to get certain virtues. So you see I have wisdom, courage, charisma, and kindness. And you get these through various means, either by roster level or adventure tome or doing Una's tasks or whatever. Just a variety of horizontal content that you would need to do to increase these stats. And so I'm going to make up these numbers, but it might be that Nia requires you to have like, I don't know, 300 wisdom or something like that. But you're definitely going to be gated when you get to a certain point with Nia if you're trying to do the rapport normally. Now, what people will do is they'll try to skip it by just giving Nia a ton of gifts, so much so that from the point that you're at, it just maxes out her rapport meter so that you don't ever have to interact with that barrier, with that virtue barrier. And then you can collect the rewards of having max rapport with Nia immediately, which is the Omnium star. The second thing that I will say about it is that when you're giving gifts to an NPC to do the rapport skip, you cannot give, and the game tries to help you out by making it so that you can't over give an NPC rapport. The problem is that window is very, 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 very strict. Because of that reason, we need to be very specific about how many points we give to the NPC and how many gifts we have available to give after we get to those points, okay? If you want to know more about rapport skipping, I would Google it. I would go to YouTube and search for guides specifically about rapport gifting, since this is a very general overview. It's something that is a little bit complicated and you don't really want to mess it up. So if you feel the need to do the Nia rapport for the Omnium star and you don't want to get virtue gated, make sure you research exactly how to rapport skip. So you can use this link that I gave you. You can search for a video and stuff like that. But I would recommend that you proceed with caution. It's very worth doing. It's just, you definitely can mess it up, okay? So next, this is probably one of the easiest Omnium stars to pick up. Now, this has changed. Sun coins are no longer in the game. The coins that you're looking for are Procyon coins, okay? We're looking for Procyon coins, and we need 8,000 and some change. And there's going to be a wandering merchant vessel that occasionally spawns outside in the harbor of Punica. So if you set sail, there's going to be a boat there. You can buy this. This is probably one of the Omnium stars that I'm going to get because it's very, very easy. And then after that, Omnium stars 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all RNG. Now, the ones that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing Chaos Line, I'm going to be doing Stella, which is an Anguished Isle, and I'm going to be doing Moake, which is a field boss. Now, if you're wondering where all those 3 things are, so field bosses actually aren't happening today, but a field boss is going to be an event that happens on this timer. So if you go to the top left and you look for events, eventually on one of the days, right, there's going to be field bosses, right? You see on Procyon's Compass, It shows field bosses. You can go to appearance notification, and you can go to Moake, right? You can see the location of Moake is just going to be right here in the Tika Tika colony. This is in the Punica Island again. You go to Tika Tika colony, and you go there on the hour that Moake is going to spawn. You do him once for the day, and then that's the only time that you have a chance at getting the Omnium Star, right? So it's your just one time a day if the field boss is spawning. You do walk in, you hope that the Omnium Star drops. So that's one potential RNG Omnium Star. The next Omnium Star you should be doing is in Anguished Isle. So you see on the map here, Anguished Isle is kind of like below and a little bit to the right of Punica. So if you sail out into the harbor in Tide Shelf Path, and then you go south, there's Anguished Isle here. Now I recommend you jump into this island and you do the quest that's given to you on the island. Do it to completion, and that's going to lead you to get a key to go into the Garden of Despair here. And every time you run the Garden of Despair, the boss at the end, Stella, has a chance of dropping an Omnium Star. So when you do the daily, or when you finish the quest and then you do the daily for the quest, you'll have some keys. I think you'll be able to go into the Garden of Despair twice. And then after that, every day, the daily resets. You do that daily, it'll give you one key, and then you can do the Garden of Despair once. You can do the dailies a bunch of, like, let's say you do the daily for 1, 2, 3 days. Now you have 3 keys. You can go into the Garden of Despair 3 times. So the Garden of Despair isn't necessarily daily locked. You just need a key to go in. That's going to be the second Omnium Star that I'm RNG farming for. And then the last one is weekly. It's the Chaos Line. Now for the Chaos Line, how you unlock it is you go to North Vern. You go to Vern Castle, and then on the north part where this Chaos Dungeon is, you'll actually find a quest just below the Chaos Dungeon. It's going to be a purple quest. I think it's something like something about like getting promoted to the Knights or something like that. But you pick up that quest and do it to completion. If you want to know the exact quest name, give it a Google. But basically, after you do that quest line, you're going to go to Bellion Ruins, and then you're going to notice that in the Bellion Ruins on the left side of the map, there's this Chaos Line dungeon that shows up here. There's going to be a quest chain from an NPC right close by. I think the NPC is Professor Farhat. You go and do his quest, and then you'll get entry tokens to go into the Chaos Line, and that quest resets weekly, which will give you basically weekly your entrance into the Chaos Line dungeon, and that has an RNG chance to drop an Omnium Star as well. So going back to this screen, you'll see for me, to get this Wealth Rune, basically, there's a chance that I get 1 or 3. I mean, I could just do it tomorrow and I get it tomorrow or whatever, right? But there's a chance that I get these 3 Omnium Stars. But there's 2 that I can get guaranteed. 1 from the Spear Hunting Guild Vessel, and then 1 from this quest. So I need 3 more Omnium Stars beyond that, right? I'm working on my Una's task, but hopefully it won't take me 21 days. Ideally, I don't even need to use this Una's task, but if the Una's task doesn't come through, then I might consider doing the Rapport Skip for Nia when I have enough Rapport gifts. And then it's basically a game for waiting for the RNG to drop from one of these 3 events, right? Either the Chaos Line, Anguished Isle, or Moake. So that wraps it up for Omnium Stars. I already got the blue Wealth Rune from Giant's Hearts, but let's look at Giant's Hearts really quickly. So we went to the Resources tab, we went to Collectibles, and we clicked Giant's Hearts here in Max Roll. So if we scroll down again, it'll tell you where all these sources for Giant's Hearts are. Now, for me, Giant's Hearts was really, really easy. The first easy one that you can get is you can use a Field Boss daily lockout. If you do Tarsilla once on a day where the Field Bosses are spawning, you go and do Tarsilla, and then you collect your Field Boss reward off Tarsilla. I think now it's a guaranteed drop. I think. I got it on my first run. My friends did too. And my friend told me that it was a guaranteed drop. So I think that's what it is now. So you can get one from there guaranteed. And then you can do Shadespire and Fatespire. These are the tier 1 and tier 2 tower instances that you can go to. If you want to know how to jump into them, if I go to my game client, I press Alt-Q, bring up this window, go to Content, click on Tower, click on Shortcut, then you see Shadespire is here and Fatespire is here. Now, I did these all to completion because they also carry skill point potions, and then you also get quick recharge runes from here. So I guess that's also somewhere that you can get horizontal content rewards for. But it should be very easy. And you'll notice that there's a Giant's Hearts here. And then you'll notice that for this one, there's a Giant Heart here on floor 14 as well. So 3 giant hearts that you can get fairly easily just right off the bat. This first giant heart, I think, should be automatically completed for you if you use the power pass. The Southfern power pass, I believe, automatically finishes this quest, so you should already have one. That's going to put your giant hearts up to 4. And then the last one I got was from Atlas Exchange. I just bought it off a merchant. Now this merchant kind of like spawns, I think, in 20-minute increments, so you might have to check back at some random times to try to figure them out. If you need to know exactly how to do it, you can actually click this word, Atlas Exchange. You can click this link. It opens up a page and it tells you all about Atlas Island. And then over here, you see it talks about the merchant exchange, and there's a giant's heart. These are locations on Atlas Island that he spawns in. So just click that for more information. That was the one that I did, but you can also go to Blackfang's Den and exchange Giena's coins. I think it should still be Giena's coins in our version since they changed the sailing coins a bit. But you can buy this one or you can buy that one. Very, very nice. And that should push you up to 5 Giant's Hearts, which easily gets you to the blue wealth rune. And then obviously, I'm probably going to take a chill pill on this, but I might try to see if there's a 6th one that I can get easily. You can do Una's tasks. Remember, they're basically logged daily, right? So 30 days of Tugi Island or 15 days of Ruffians of the Ground, whatever. You can do these. You can rapport these for NPCs as well, right? You can also buy these from the vendors. I'm saving my coins for the Omnium Star, but when I'm done with the Omnium Star, I'm probably going to get these for at least the 6th bonus, which is a skill point potion here. But that's kind of my plan for horizontal content so far. So in summary, here's what I recommend. Take a look at your class and figure out, like, is it skill points that you really want? Is it runes? Like, for example, wealth runes. I just brought you through how I got wealth runes or how I'm planning to get wealth runes for my summoner. Is it something else? Is it conviction judgment or whatever it is? Use max roll. That's going to give you a lot of information for how to get these pieces of runes and skill points and stuff like that. And those are the things to look out for. So hopefully you guys are doing well in your Jumpstart server experience. As kind of an overview, my character is level 59, nearly level 60. All I really did, I think I wasn't super duper hardcore with it. I was able to complete all the raids, so I did Volton, Vicus, Clown, and Brel, and then I upgraded my gear and did up to Gate 3 Brel, right? And then I put these up to plus 15. So I'm ready to get to 1540 as I slowly get more of my pieces here. And then all I did is I try to do my dailies, try to buy out the event shop here as I can. Make sure that I'm getting the special Oktoberfest tokens because those are weekly locked, so that I can continue buying out all the store stuff. And it should be good. You guys should be well on your way to growing your character and getting to the point where your character can find more strength. If you guys have any more questions or anything else that you're curious about, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.